Namaste everyone, and welcome to another live session of Friday afternoon 5-element QiGong. So we'll just land right into it. So find yourself a comfortable spot, find somewhere that you feel nice and relaxed. I'm going to clear that off so I can see what we're all doing. And when we're ready, we'll start with our usual warm-up, and then we're going to do, I think people found it okay with the postures and the flows, so we'll order it as feels comfortable at the end. So let's just start with our usual wrist warm-ups. We'll do the same routine with a figure of 8 pattern, going round, really flex the fingertips and the wrists, because when we do these things consistently, it tells the mind, it tells the body, tells ourselves we're getting ready for this practice. It knows it's a time for relaxation, for a slower pace from the everyday busyness of life. So just rolling the shoulders backwards and then rolling them forward. And at this point, you can start to notice where your breath's landing in your body. How are you feeling in yourself? Just coming home to yourself. So let's just open the sides a bit as well. Lovely. Right. So let's start with this bit of spinal opening. We'll go for knocking on the door of life is an option. That's the one where you start with moving from the qua and just let them fingertips trail as if through water. And when the momentum builds, letting the arms tap gently on the lower back, either side of the spine. And for those that are seated and that's less comfortable, you can place your right hand by your left leg and then your left arm behind you. Sit up, kind of like if you've ever done twists in yoga, sitting up straight and then turning to whatever degree feels comfortable, never beyond the point of into discomfort or pain. Listen to your body, it'll be different every day. And back to center. And then the left arm to the right leg, arm behind, lifting up the spine. Imagine a nice straight spine. That line of opposition between the tailbone and the crown as we turn and look behind us, if that feels comfortable on your neck. Giving a gentle wake into the neck as well. We're just putting full body mobility. Okay, so let's warm up that neck and release some tension from the shoulders. So we'll go with stork spreads its feathers. This is one where we gather water and imagine pushing it and dissipating it at the sides. Let the shoulder blades drop and melt down the back body. Let the elbows be soft and relaxed. Let the fingertips be pulled down by gravity. And again, sweeping round, fingers drop. Just imagine like a waterfall of relaxation from the shoulders to the fingertips. Lifting at the crown, slight tuck of the chin. Final time. And this time, as the fingertips drop down, you may wish to, if it feels comfortable, imagining a line of opposition between the crown and the fingertips of the opposite arm, the crown of the head. You can imagine them pulling slightly against each other just to maintain some support and stability through the spine, while we release some tension and tightness from the top of the shoulder and the side of the neck. And then once you've done this 3 times to that side, if that feels comfortable, you can roll down to the chin and over to the other side. And again, we're not forcing the arms down, we're just allowing gravity, we're just giving the invitation for the body to soften. Trust in the wisdom, the body, to move how feels right now. And you can breathe out, imagine any tension or tightness washing out before we come back to the middle. And then just shaking the wrists out, shaking the arms out, releasing any tension or tightness. Wonderful. So let's do some spine cord breathing just to open up the front and back of the spine and to activate our parasympathetic, our rest and digest phase. So we've got a nice arch of the spine. If I turn to the side, opening up and then rounding right the way. Imagine from the tailbone right the way around, opening up at the back body. Breathe in, open the front body. And we breathe out to open up the back body. Again, breathe in. and out. Final time. Okay, so let's open up the vertebrae with one of our favourites. Well, one of my favourites. It's one that people seem to really enjoy, this one. Picking cherries, this one's called. Imagine again that line of opposition between the crown and the tailbone. And you can imagine the hip of the arm raised. Imagine that hip anchored down. So you're getting a bit of a stretch in the side body. And this is just allowing for a bit more space through the vertebrae. I find this one particularly helpful. I've been spending a lot of time sat down, or I've got an uncomfortable lower back. And it opens up the shoulders and a bit as well. So warming the arms up, ready for our heart posture. Okay, roll the shoulders, let that settle in. So now that we've opened the spine and the neck, let's just do a bit of tray of the teacups, get that spiraling moving through the body. So we'll do our two-handed tray of teacups. Imagine it's fingertips pointing behind you, holding that teacup. The arms come forward, fingertips face away. Arms uncross, fingertips face the abdomen. Still with that tray upright, fingertips face away and arms cross and behind. So it's this nice figure of 8 pattern. And even those that are seated like me today can imagine the spiraling coming right the way up from the feet. A slight shift in the weight on the sits bones. So every movement in QiGong can be a whole body movement, an invitation to whole body awareness. And it can be done with the breath if that feels comfortable. Find your rhythm, find your flow. Allowing the shoulders to remain soft down the back of the body. And when you're ready, bring the arms down at the sides. Imagine pushing them palms down into the bottom corners of the room. And again, you can roll with the neck if there's still any tension or tightness, if that feels comfortable, maintaining a lift in the crown. And imagine a line of opposition from the opposite fingers. And then roll the arms to settle. So let's open up with some spinal, some silk reeling, ready for our, especially for the fountain flow. So for those that remember the silk reeling, we imagine this movement again coming from the soles of the feet, waving right the way through the body. So I'll turn from the side because it'll be easier this time. So as the chest goes forward, if you're standing, the hips go back. As the chest comes back, hips go forward. So we're just imagining a wave washing right the way up the feet, right the way through, and it's just opening the front and back of the spine. Pumping some energy, some circulation awareness up through the spinal highway and through the whole body. A gentle wave. I find this one quite soothing as well. Waves can be quite soothing for me to watch, so it's nice to feel a wave through the body. Really relaxing them shoulder blades and finding a pace that feels comfortable for you. Final time. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to do shake the tree, and then we're going to go straight into our postures and flows. So we've got plenty of time to really relax, ease into the weekend. So you can adopt your Jet stance here. So for those that are standing, that is the feet slightly wider than shoulder width. Standing with a nice upright spine. Imagine the tailbone dipping down, the crown lifting. That line of tension and opposition. Shoulders are relaxed. Shoulder blades melt down the back body. Arms in front of the abdomen kind of level. Elbows soft, slightly out at the sides. And then we're shaking the tree from that stance. So you can imagine bouncing up and down into the tailbone, into the sits bone. For those of us that are seated, really have a nice shake of them wrists. This one, shake the tree. can release any tension or tightness through any part of the body with a nice audible exhale, that ha sound. If it helps, you can visualize grey mist with the exhale, releasing any tension or tightness. In Chinese medicine, emotions can get stuck in the body. Just tension from the day, anything unresolved, just letting it go. For those that are standing or seated, you can circle at the ankles and give them a bit of a shake. And circle in the other, and a bit of a shake with that leg. So really invite your body now, just listen. Is there anywhere that's tense or tight that wants a bit more of an opening? A bit of a release, a bit of a tapping. Find what feels good. And this is one, the more gentle you are, the longer it can be sustained. And sometimes I feel a bit of a light feeling, a bit of electricity moving through me when I now slow down and come to a pause. Learn a bit more spacious. As I get into my Wuji posture, aware of my tailbone and my crown, slightly in opposition. Aware of my palms cupped upright at my abdomen. Aware of all four corners of my feet, even when I'm seated on the ground, my sits bones. Feeling balance in the front and the back body, like a slight zipping up the front and a relaxing, a softening down the back body. And then I start to notice the breath. Without trying to change it, just notice how the breath is for you now, where it's landing in the body. And you can set the intention, you can invite the body to breathe as deeply as it needs without forcing it, just inviting the body to soften, to take the space that it needs. Bringing awareness to the palms, a slight stretching in the palms, the skin of a drum is being slightly stretched, not overly stretched, but slightly, just to keep awareness in the fingers and to open up the fascia, the connective tissue, which in Chinese medicine is where the energy pathways can flow a bit more readily. So we're just creating space. Space for breath, space for circulation, space for energy, and perhaps space for transformation, change from the inside out. So wherever your breath is now, just bring awareness to your abdomen. And even if you're not feeling your breathing there, just imagine the mind stepping into a lift and sinking down, down, down through the throat, the chest, into the abdomen, like a pebble in a pond, sinking into the abdomen. Bringing awareness to that core, which is the foundation, the place from which the movement comes for these practices. And just imagine the breath landing, even if you don't feel it in the abdomen. Might help to imagine a white light there. Another final nice deep breath. And that's the starting posture for our lungs, for metal. So we now do the flow. Buddha upholds the earth. So lifting them palms, they face towards you, and then they start to turn around the forehead level. And we're stretching slightly up to the skies, slight pause, and softening down. Arms stay slightly rounded and come to rest in the abdomen. So arms lift, palms open up, Buddha holding up the earth, and breathe out. So as we breathe in, the arms raise. Imagine white light being washed into the lungs as we breathe in and the palms face. And as we breathe out and the palms face the chest. And come into rest and anchor in the abdomen. Again. Find your own pace and flow. Nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Palms come in line with the lung points, with the immune points for this. So this is a nice one to be doing when you're feeling a bit run down or if winter's on the horizon. To give your immune system a little extra boost. Final time. And you can slightly slow the breath. Slight pause at the top and bottom. So the breath slows, the body slows, the mind slows. So we go into our second posture, which is for our kidneys. In this one, the arms just come from the front, round the sides, palms still facing the sides, fingertips still facing the sides, and now behind us. So it's easier to see from the camera. You might be slightly forward in the spine, but keeping a straight spine. The palms are slightly cupped, but to a comfortable level. Don't have them too close if that's uncomfortable. Find what's right in your body today, now. And now imagine breathing into that lower back, breathing into the kidneys, the 5 elements. We come to awareness of the 5 core elements of Chinese medicine in our body. And this associated with the door of life and water, with restiveness, introspection, just that quieter time and space. And this is also associated with the colour blue, so you might wish to imagine blue light, with the in-breath expanding and gently contracting in the lower back. Ball of awareness, just to bring the mind into the practice. Relaxing, imagine them cupping palms, so there's a slight stretch still in the fingers, still awareness. Just hold this for another 15 seconds. Really breathing nourishment into them kidneys. You can pop your arms to the sides if they feel uncomfortable. Over time, it'll get easier. And the hands just help accentuate that focus on the lower back. As we bring the arms round to the front, ready for fountain. So, palms come together and wash away, like our 3 treasures. And we wash up and down. Imagine it rising from the abdomen, from that door of life, the back and the front. It's washing up the spine. The elbows stay quite fixed in space, so we're moving around a point, like we do in our warm-up. And the palms stay slightly open and cupped. Imagine them directing the water. So water flows up. Slight wave through the spine, like when we do our silk reeling in our warm-up. Only a gentle movement, I'll show you from the side. So you can imagine the energy washing up in the abdomen. In Chinese medicine, you imagine it coming from the Huiyin point, near the base of the spine, and washing up the chest. Just like flexing. Tilting of the pelvis slightly. Final time. We go into our third posture, which is for our liver. This is stand like a tree. So our arms are rounded like a hoop, like when we do our QiGong. Again, this one's supporting the liver, just to the right hand side of your body. And this is associated with green, with wood, with the fibers, the sinews, the connective tissue of the body. So again, stretching the drum skin of the hands, you can imagine the same on the feet, which brings spaciousness to the connective tissues, the ligaments, the fibers that connect the body, that hold everything together, that wrap around the organs, just inviting space, standing in balance like a tree, equally aware of the soles of your feet, your sits bones, the crown of the head. Balance between the earth, the skies, the heavens. If it helps to anchor the mind, you can imagine breathing green light into the liver, nourishing, relaxing, softening, releasing. Becoming aware of the breath and where it's landing in the body. Maintaining a slight tuck of the chin. Relaxing the shoulder blades down the back body. And if the arms get tired or heavy, you can bring them to the front and back up again. Over time, again, it gets easier. And also find what feels good for your body now. For me, I use the visualization from my sensei, Nick Laffrey, which is to imagine that the hands, the wrists, the joints are floating like corks on water when they start to feel heavy. Imagine a natural buoyancy holding them up. Imagine a marionette string lifting the crown of the head, keeping the spine nice and straight. Just 30 more seconds. Breathe in some love into the liver, giving thanks for it. Does so much to relieve toxins and support the body to stay cleansed. It's also associated with anger, and its counterpart is loving kindness. So you can imagine breathing loving kindness, dissipating any frustration or anger from this week, from today. Final breath. Before we now move on to our movement, which is tree sways in the wind. The palms come to the abdomen level and they lift up the side body. We've got that, we turn from the qua, that inner waist level. Again, palms from the abdomen. We turn, it's like a whole body turning, like imagine you're on a spit roast, so the whole body is turning. So twisting the spine. This is running up, clearing out the liver meridian. And I always find my mind considerably quieter and calmer after this. This is a great one if there's a lot of overthinking, you've been feeling quite stressed or overwhelmed, or the to-do list feels a bit big. A nice one to do before prioritizing. just to clear the mind, create some space to think clearly, letting the wind release, shake free all that you don't need. Again, keeping awareness through them cupped palms. Final time to the side. And then come back to center. Just relax the arms for a second. Nice deep breath at the sides. Before we bring them up for cloudy hands. Ready for cloudy hands. So this is our heart posture. So this is holding the urn to the golden, to the yang position, the golden urn to the yang position. So the yang, the skies. And so for this one, the elbows are shoulder width apart, wrists shoulder width apart. And again, with the sides of the arm, the hand, the side of the palm, it's like imagine a knife slicing right, like a curved side, pushing slightly up and away, which just opens slightly the wrist, opens slightly the heart channel, tucking the chin, lifting the crown. Imagine the opposition between the tailbone and the crown. And now imagine the shoulders like corks on water, relaxed, soft. The elbows buoyant, relaxed, soft, supported by the buoyancy of water. And the wrists relaxed, soft, floating on water, effortless. Imagine the tops of the fingers lifted up like marionette strings are holding them. And for this one, we'll imagine receiving, whether it's sunlight or the energy of the heavens or purple light, whatever resonates for you. Just imagine the sky, that heavenly, the spaciousness, the air, just washing in, filling your cup. You say we can't pour from an empty one, so get that nice and full. And you can turn slightly the crook of the hand, which we call the claw, tiger's claw. You can imagine that facing the third eye kind of level, between the eyebrows, which just again helps with the hand position, the wrist position, visualization. Just another 15 seconds or 30. Imagine that warmth from the shoulder blades. Imagine that warmth washing right the way through the arms. Imagine the warmth in the shoulders. Imagine it as a warm light as the sun sets, and it's all coming in to wash into the heart. Just 5 more seconds. And we go to cloudy hands. So one palm faces the floor, the other palm faces the chest. Again, the arm is rounded. And for those standing, shifting the weight, turning that quad point, keeping that spinal alignment. So we're turning on that split again. Change the arms over. So top arm comes down to face the floor, bottom arm comes up to face the chest. Shift from one leg to the other, turn, change hands, cloudy hands. Shift the weight, turn, change hands. Shift, turn, change hands. Shift the weight. I imagine changing the weight in the sits bones when I'm seated, and change hands. So we shift from one sits bone to the other, turn, spine, change the hands. And this one, cloudy hands, it's like mist coming off the waters as the sun's rising or setting. Nourishing the heart. Again with the breath, so you can change your breath, breathe in or out. The arms change. And that breath holds. And then we change here, so breathing in. Shift the weight, turn, and breathe out and change arms. Breathing in. Find your rhythm, find your flow. Final time, shift, turn. Shoulders soft, arms turn, that golden urn now turns to the yin position, which is the earth. Imagine the foundation, feeling the soles of your feet. Nice deep breath. Again, the elbows are in line with the shoulders, the palms slightly cupped. It's like lifting the crown top of the chin. Breathing awareness into the lower part of the body, the foundation, the earth center, around the solar plexus level, the stomach, the spleen. This is a place of nurturing in Chinese medicine, community. So breathing in nourishment, relaxation, allowing your digestive processes to have the time and the space they need. Final nice deep breath in. Imagine yellow light washing into this area. Next to the earth center. Now bring those palms towards you, pebble in the pond. So the spine stays straight, but there's a slight bend forward. So from the tailbone, hip kind of level, just a slight, imagine your spine staying nice and straight and you're looking into the reflection in the water. And the pebble is cast in the pond, casts ripples. So breathe into the solar plexus level and breathe out. Pebble in a pond. Breathing in. And breathing out. Imagine the water rippling around you. Find this one's got quite a soothing quality. The stomach and the spleen associated with worry. You can imagine any worries being washed away, rippling away in the water. And breathing in the calm, the tranquility of the lake around you. Imagine how it feels to gently rest the arms on water. Imagine a slight buoyancy. Final time. And come back to center. Arms in front of the abdomen, and we anchor all of that now back into that core space where we started. So just with one arm, I feel like this one for me is pulling myself together, coming back to my center. Maintaining that awareness of the breath. Imagine gathering all the spaciousness, all the peace that's surrounding you. Imagine that washing in, anchoring in at the core, the abdomen, the door of life. Final time to each side. Arms come to rest on the abdomen. And taking some nice deep breaths, inviting the body, the breath, to be upright, alert, yet soft. A state of balance. Those standing, you can bring your feet slightly closer together. Behind, sways in the wind, just letting the body, the circulation, the energy, settle, rest. Let your body move these final few moments. Your body to move freely, not with an intention. Go and do the shopping or daily life, but to just move, to feel good. Release, to relax. Final deep breath. And we circle the abdomen, coming up the right hand side, across and down the left. Final time. Bring that to a center. Nice breath in. And release with an audible sigh. Well, I certainly feel more relaxed for that. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you for joining us. Take good care. We'll be back same time next week for another QiGong flow and practice. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.